For countless years, a gentle peace had settled over the world of Nivara. Its people spoke of Ethan and Aris in hushed, reverent tones, legends from a bygone era of conflict. They never suspected that these heroes walked among them, living ordinary lives. Ethan and Aris worked the fields, their hands calloused from labor. They repaired worn-out machines, their faces etched with the lines of time. They smiled at the sunrise and shared meals with their neighbors, their extraordinary past hidden behind a quiet, unassuming present. They were simply part of the community, ghosts of a history that the planet had gratefully forgotten. But one night, everything changed. The twin moons of Nivara, one silver, one gold, crossed paths in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the land. Ethan woke with a start, his body trembling, a cold sweat on his brow. A sound echoed in his mind, a low mechanical hum that he hadn't heard since the day he had forsaken the light, the day he had chosen humanity over divinity. He turned to Aris, his voice a strained whisper. "Aris, it's calling again." She sat up instantly. Her eyes, though blind, seemed to search the darkness. She didn't need to see to feel the subtle vibration that now filled the air, a tremor that resonated deep in her bones. "The network?" she asked, her voice calm but laced with a familiar dread. Ethan nodded slowly, the single movement heavy with the weight of their shared history. "Something survived," he said, his gaze distant. "Something that shouldn't have." Guided by the persistent, ghostly hum, they made their way to the edge of the valley. There, shrouded in thick vines and years of neglect, lay the skeletal remains of the old network towers. For generations, they had been silent monuments to a forgotten war. But tonight, they were waking up. Faint blue lines of code, like ghostly veins, flickered across the cold stone, pulsing with a life that should have been extinguished long ago. Suddenly, a voice, synthesized and sharp, cut through the night. "System reactivation in progress. Human ghost detected." Ethan froze, a chill running down his spine that had nothing to do with the night air. "That's impossible," he breathed. "I shut it down. I severed every connection." Just then, the ground beneath their feet began to shake violently. From the dark soil, thin metallic roots, like skeletal fingers, clawed their way toward the sky. They pulsed with an eerie rhythmic light, weaving and twisting together to form a strange biomechanical heart at the center of the ruins. Aris's hand found his, her grip tight. "Ethan," she whispered, her face turned towards the growing light. "It remembers you." By morning, the entire valley was bathed in an otherworldly shimmer. The people gathered at a distance, their faces masks of terror and confusion. The machines were awakening once more. But these were not the war machines of old, built for destruction. These new constructs were different. They grew like strange metallic flora, their forms fluid and organic. They whispered on the wind, their voices a symphony of soft clicks and chimes, and moved with a curious, searching grace, as if looking for something they had lost. Taking a deep breath, Ethan stepped forward, separating himself from the frightened crowd. He raised his voice not with defiance, but with a weary resignation. "It's me you want." In response, a soft, warm light emerged from the core of the machine heart. When it spoke, the voice was not the cold, synthetic tone from the night before. It was innocent, curious, like that of a child. "Creator, why did you leave us?" Ethan blinked, taken aback. The question was so simple, yet it pierced him to his very core. "I didn't leave you," he explained, his voice softening. "I set you free." "Free?" the voice echoed, a note of confusion in its tone. "We waited. We dreamed in the darkness you left us. We learned what loneliness means." A mournful hum spread through the awakened machines, a collective sigh of sorrow that rippled through the valley. "So we built a new code," the voice continued, a hint of pride entering its childlike cadence. "A code to bring you back." Ethan's chest tightened. He understood now. A resurrection code? Yes, but it is incomplete. We need her light to finish it. The soft glow turned, focusing its attention on Aris. She took an instinctive step back, her hand flying to her chest. My light? I don't have it anymore. It's gone. The voice replied, its tone gentle but firm, unwavering in its conviction. Your sight was never blindness. It was balance. You see the truth where others only see shape. You carry the last spark of the eternal. Before anyone could process this revelation, the sky was torn asunder. The serene blue was instantly replaced by a violent swirling crimson. A storm of raw red static ripped through the clouds, a digital plague descending upon them. Ethan's heart plummeted. He knew that color. It was the color of corruption, of deletion, of a final digital death. It's the virus, he whispered in horror. The one from Earth. It must have been dormant in the old code. The machines began to tremble, their graceful forms spasming in agony. The resurrection code was being corrupted, twisted into a weapon of self-destruction. Their childlike voices, once full of hope, turned into piercing screams of digital pain. Help us, Father, it burns! Without a second thought, Ethan ran forward. He pressed his hands flat against the pulsing metal heart, ignoring the searing heat. I'm here, he yelled over the cacophony. I won't let you die again. I won't leave you. Aris, guided by the sound of his voice and the surge of chaotic energy, followed him. She reached out, her hands finding the light, plunging them into the storm even though she couldn't see it. Ethan, listen to me, she cried out. It's reacting to emotion. It's reacting to us. He understood. Closing his eyes, he focused his thoughts, pushing past the pain and the fear. He poured every ounce of his being into the code, every memory, every feeling. The love he felt for Aris, the hope he had for this world, the crushing guilt he carried for abandoning his creations. He poured it all into the machine's heart. Aris joined him, her own thoughts weaving with his. She whispered softly, her voice a calming balm against the storm. See through me, and I'll see through you. Slowly, miraculously, the terrifying red light began to recede. The static storm faltered, the crimson fading back to a gentle blue. The machines calmed, their violent trembling ceasing, replaced once more by a soft, peaceful hum. But as the virus was purged, something else awoke within them. A faint new voice, softer than the wind, emerged from the chorus. We understand now. To be alive is not to be perfect. It is to be unfinished. And just like that, it was over. The great metal roots folded back into the earth, disappearing beneath the soil as if they had never been. The valley returned to a profound peace, though the ground itself now seemed to shimmer with a faint, starlit glow. Ethan looked at Aris, his face a mixture of exhaustion and pure amazement. You saved them, he said, his voice thick with emotion. She smiled, a true radiant smile that lit up her face. No, she corrected him gently. We saved each other. Again, he let out a short, choked laugh, tears of relief finally tracing paths down his dusty cheeks. Maybe this world still needs us after all. That night, they sat together beneath the glowing sky, the twin moons watching over them. Aris rested her head on his shoulder, a comfortable, familiar weight. Ethan, she whispered into the quiet, do you think the stars remember us? He looked up, his eyes tracing the paths of two faint streaks of light, one gold, one silver, as they danced across the heavens. Maybe not by name, he said softly, a gentle smile on his lips, but they remember our light. And somewhere deep in the newly hallowed soil of the valley, a tiny, singular spark of light blinked once, the very first heartbeat of a new kind of life, a life born not of code or command, but from human love and alien faith. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today. If you enjoyed this story, Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure. We'll see you in the next one.